Nice.
Dude, let's go.
Oh my goodness. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to an episode of Untamed Outdoorsman. And today is going to be a very special video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Today we're going to be making a video about the top 10 Christmas ideas for a kayak angler. So this is going to be, I'm going to be making this video specifically for the shoppers, specifically for somebody else. So if you're shopping for someone, whether it's a friend, a husband, whatever it may be, this video is for you. So this is going to be the top 10 kayak related fishing items that I would recommend for a Christmas gift. So this is going to be avoiding four main things. So this is going to be avoiding rods, reels, lures, and actual kayaks. So actual kayaks are all going to vary on budget and what somebody wants. There's just too many variables when when recommending a kayak, so I'm going to be avoiding that. And I'm going to be avoiding rods, reels, and lures for the same reason. There's just too much variety in the angler. There could be somebody who likes saltwater, could be somebody who likes to fly fish, could be somebody who likes freshwater, could be just too many things. So we're going to be avoiding that. And we're going to be focusing more on just accessories and cool things for kayaks. So, you know, I'm kind of basing this review off of what I would like to get and just my items that I have here that I really enjoy using. And in a hypothetical world, if I were to get those as Christmas gifts, I would really like to have them. So that's what this video is going to be all about. So let's get started. So it's going to consist of 10 main ones, and I have 2 honorable mentions for you. This is all going to be, a little bit dependent on the kayak angler, but let's just get started here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about, first out of the 10, is going to be these Marathon aluminum pliers, or really any kind of plier. So I got these over 2 years ago, and this is the second time they've been inside. We've talked about these more than once on the channel, and the only other time that it's been inside has been on that other video I made over a year ago. But these things have been outside for 2 years straight, getting weather, getting ice buildup, getting water, whatever it may be. And as you can see, they're in extremely good shape. They're a little dirty, but aside from that, they still work and function exactly how they're supposed to. And these things have taken a beating. And I really like these things because, again, there's really no major rust showing or anything like that. It's just as good as the day I bought it, really. So pliers are probably one of the most important things for any kayak angler specifically, because you don't have a lot of area to move around. So if you're on a boat or you're on anywhere else, you can move around, you can really spread out and control that fish better. But on a kayak, it's a little bit different. You're glued to one spot on that kayak. So being able to have a tool like this to get into like a pickerel or a muskie's mouth or even a bass sometimes, it'll not only help the fish, but it'll help protect you, because last thing you want is a hook in your finger. So one of the most important tools here, I'm going to have to say, are pliers. And it doesn't have to be these in particular. I know there's a lot of good plier brands out there, but if you're looking for an easy one, definitely a great purchase to make for the person you're buying for. Okay, so the next thing that I have is a smaller one, but it really pertains to storage upgrades. I think one of the most important things to have on a kayak is good organization and knowing where your items are. And this is why I recommend a bait bag of some kind. So this is one specifically for soft plastics. It just so happens to be a Guggen one, but there's plenty of other ones out there. And this is going to really help organize your soft plastics. I have a different way I do it, and I'll show you. Actually, it's one of my other recommendations later in the video. But this is a Guggen Squad one. This specifically holds all my craw style baits. So I got Wild Things right here. I got some Carl's Amazing Baits. Got some Yums here. This is really, really good for having a lot of soft plastics and having a lot of organized soft plastics. So, because what I can do is, if I got this all zippered up here, I can just have this behind me and just throw it down right there, and I'll know where all my craws are at any given moment. So this helps, because the last thing you want is to have 100 different craws packs scattered all over your kayak. It doesn't help you in any way, and it's lazy in my opinion, and it just makes getting out of the water more stressful, or looking for the right thing just more stressful. So these are really cheap and they're really effective. And you can actually make these if you want to. You can make these out of Ziploc bags or anything like that, but these tend to hold up better if they're outside in the elements because they're a thicker plastic. But that's going to be my other recommendation. It's a small one, but it's still a good recommendation. Okay, so my third recommendation is going to be some kind of net. So nets are really important for fishing, mainly because if you got a fish on, you're reeling it in, you're fighting that fish, and you get that up to your kayak, for larger fish, it's going to be very difficult to get that fish from the water onto the kayak. And sometimes you can grab them just by the lip of the fish, but if you got a lot of treble hooks and things like that, that can be a little dangerous. So a lot of people, out of instinct, will try and boat flip that fish from the water into your kayak just by the strength of the rod. And you can do that, but it's not healthy for that rod. And you run the risk of snapping that rod just from the sheer tension and the weight. That could very well snap a fishing rod. So you really want to be careful doing that. It works sometimes and people can do it with success, but I don't personally recommend that. What I do recommend is a really good net. So you don't have to get this one, but this is the one that I recommend. This is the Yak Attack Leverage Landing Net. It's a little big, but I've found myself using it so many times this season in 2023. It goes on like this, so you hold it very similar to this, pretty much exactly like this actually. And it really helps you get that proper leverage and reach to grab that fish out of the water. And I absolutely love this thing. I was a little bit skeptical when I first bought it because I didn't think I was going to use it too much. But I'm going to say 40% of all the fish I caught this year were caught with this net being used. So definitely a really good idea is to get a good quality net, because bad quality nets will bend on you, they'll snap, and they're great for small fish, but when a situation like this, having a net, I'd rather have it and not need it instead of needing it and not having it. So this is a great idea for somebody to get them for the holidays. Okay, so the fourth recommendation that I have is going to be a scale. So this scale that I have here is the Rapala High Contrast Digital Scale, and it's really nice. I do like it. It's a fully, like I said, it's a fully digital display. You get temperature, you get battery life, you get a ton of different save files on here. You got a bottle opener on the very top. This thing is really nice, and I do like it quite a bit. However, it is a little bit pricey. I know I paid around $50 for this thing back in the day, a couple years ago, but it's held up extremely well, and you take good care of it, it'll take good care of you. These are great. I mean, do you need it? No. Should you have it? Probably. If I'm catching a 5-6 pound bass and I don't have a scale with me, what am I doing? You know, you definitely need to have a scale to weigh those large fish. And plus, a lot of tournaments are weight-based, so it'd be nice to have a scale on there too, especially if somebody that you are buying this gift for does tournaments. This is a nice tool to have, along with another tool that I have coming up in a little bit here, but scales are a really nice thing to get for a gift. Okay, so one of, if not the best Christmas gifts for any fisherman, not in particular even kayak anglers, but fishermen in general, I'm going to say is a mystery tackle box. So there was no way I was going to make this video and not mention mystery tackle box, because they are probably one of the best giftable items for any fisherman out there. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, panfish, largemouth bass, smallmouth, whatever it may be, they have a mystery tackle box for it. So there's quite a bit of different options to choose from for mystery tackle boxes. They've got standard ones, pro ones, elite ones, mother loads, juggernauts, saltwater, the reserve crate that we did a video on almost 2 years ago now. There's so many different things to choose from. My personal recommendation is going to be the Mystery Tackle Box Pro, Mystery Tackle Box Mother Load, and if you're looking for like a top of the line Mystery Tackle Box, the Mystery Tackle Box Reserve Crate. Those, I think, give you really good value for money, because I feel like the standard Mystery Tackle Box sometimes is not a great value, but the Pro, Mother Load, and Reserve are the three that I would recommend as a gift. But how these essentially work, if you don't know, is you'll buy these. You can get them at any major retailer too that does fishing gear. These are, for example, if a Mystery Tackle, and I don't know the pricing off the top of my head, but if the Mystery Tackle Box Mother Load is $60, you're going to get around $80 worth of fishing tackle in that box, and you don't know what it is until you open it up. So it could be, and it's all, there's guidelines, so it's ones for largemouth bass, ones for saltwater. You're not going to be getting saltwater ones in a freshwater box, but it's all catered to a specific type of fishing. But you're going to be getting hard baits, soft baits, terminal tackle, and some stickers and things like that. So those are absolute no-brainers. We've done countless mystery tackle boxes on this channel. We've done pretty much every major one, and they're all in our channel. You can find them. And they're really fun to have. They're a really fun item to have. especially the reserve crate one. It's actually a wooden, almost pallet looking style box that has over $200 worth of stuff in it. That took us almost an hour to record that video, and it was so much fun. If you're looking to do that, I think it's one of the best gifts that you could possibly get for any angler. Okay, so the next one is definitely going to be something that's a little more specific. So if you have a kayak angler that uses a lot of fishing rods at one time and needs a very easy way to transport them all at once, I highly recommend this Cal Coast rod mule. So a lot of people are probably wondering, what is this? So this is essentially, it turns all your fishing rods into a satchel. You're going to put all of your fishing rods, all the tips of the fishing rods, into this top piece here. It's all protected. The tips are protected. All this is protected from scratches or anything like that. And this part attaches to the bottom. And this turns it into a backpack style carrier. And this is the strap right here to put this over your shoulder. And this basically helps protect all of your rods in transport. So instead of carrying around, and I do this is actually Pete's here. So I'm very guilty of this. I don't have a great way to transport my fishing rods. So I'm very natural to carrying them all at once, and it works, but it's very easy to damage a rod that way. I've done it before in my past. I've accidentally closed fishing rods on car doors, and it's happened before, and this would help quite a bit in that. Just keeps all your rods in one place, keeps them all secured together so you're not running into that problem. They also make bait sacks, and that's actually a great choice too, because a lot of treble hooks really like to get in the way. That get caught up on rod covers or anything like that. Trebles are a pain sometimes. That would help quite a bit with that. But this Cal Coast rod mule here is definitely a great choice for people who have a lot of fishing rods at once. And a lot of kayak anglers like myself carry upwards of 10 at a time, so this is definitely a great choice. So the next one I have is a small one, but this is a Yeti Sidekick Dry. So I've talked about this a few times in the channel's history. This is one of my favorite kayak accessories that I've ever bought. And I know Yeti, a lot of people think that Yeti's overpriced, things like that, but I'm not here to dispute that. So this is going to be one of my favorite things that I've ever had. So this is great because it is a waterproof pouch that can hold your license, your fishing license, can hold your kayak registration, can hold your phone, your keys, your wallet, whatever it may be, it can hold it in here. And this is great because I've had many close encounters with dropping things in the water. It happens to anybody that ever fishes on a kayak or fishes in general. You accidentally drop something in the water, a phone, a key, a wallet, whatever it may be. This has saved me numerous times because it floats and it's magnetized up here, so it can't just fall out very easily. There's a ring of magnets that go out right here, and then you can close it up. I love this thing. This thing is really, really nice. I believe you can still get it. I know they've had some recall problems with it in the past. If you put like food in here and stuff, don't put food in here. Just put your phone, your keys, your wallet. You won't have any problem. But this thing is one of my favorite things that I've ever bought. Okay, the next one that I have has been something that's been extremely popular in the kayaking industry as a whole. And this is going to be the Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. I got this from Yak Attack's website. This thing, like I said, has been one of the most popular kayaking items in the last 2 years, mainly because its storage capabilities have been completely unmatched. So you have a variety of different options here. If you can't see my face, I apologize. But you can fit all of your tackle crates in this box here, and then all the little holes on the crate itself are all mounting points. So you can add various mounts, camera mounts, whatever you want to do. This thing, possibilities are truly endless. You can customize this however you want. And this is the ultimate storage solution for many kayaks. Obviously, make sure that the kayak can fit this thing in the back of it, in the back tank well, because there's a variety of different sizes. This is the 16 by 16 model, but there's 13 by 13 and 13 by 16 if you need to go smaller or larger. But this thing is the top of the line when it comes to kayak specific storage. Again, one of the best things, made in the USA as well, from a very popular and reputable brand as big as Yak Attack. And this is going to be my 3rd year of ownership coming up in 2024, and I absolutely love this thing. It's still just as good as the day I bought it, and I highly recommend it to pretty much anybody looking for high-end kayak storage. Okay, so the next one that I want to talk about, and this is the second to last one before we get to honorable mentions, is going to be a tackle box upgrade. So I just mentioned the Yak Attack Black Pack. That's more for a tackle crates and fishing rod holders and things like that. That's great. But if you're looking for just a general tackle box upgrade, I highly recommend this Yeti Go Box 30. This thing has served me extremely well. It is probably the most durable thing that I own in my fishing gear. This is probably the most durable thing that I own. And the reason being is that this is an extremely thick and durable plastic. This thing is no joke. You got a lock here if you need to lock it, but this thing is, again, it's not really for tackle crates. It's more for fishing accessories and just a general tackle box upgrade. And this thing is multi-purpose too, so if you want to use it for camping, you can use it for that. You can use it for automotive stuff. You can use it for whatever you want. But this thing is a great, great value. And I know the debate's never going to end with Yeti being a little bit on the pricier side, but I feel like I've gotten my money's worth extremely well. And I only used it for I'd probably say the last quarter of the season last year. I had this thing, but I really, really liked it. So we're going to pop this thing open real quick. So you got storage up here. You have a variety of storage options up here. You have a removable tray right here. I use that to hold all my camera gear and things like that. I have soft plastic storage right here with a ton of different Ziploc bags. Like I mentioned before, you can use Ziploc bags, but I wouldn't recommend them outside in the getting banged up all the time. And then inside of here, I have all my accessories. So this is where I keep the scale, sun mask, fish grips. I have a ton of different grease, and I have sunscreen, bug spray, variety of different things in here. So this is more of a general accessory box that I keep on the kayak. Not all kayaks are going to be able to hold this much storage with that black pack, but having one of the two is something that I strongly recommend. You don't have to get this one. There's a ton of different plano options out there, or flambeau options, or even something from Home Depot. You can totally do that too, but the general idea of having a accessory storage like this is really nice. So the last thing I want to talk about in the top 10 before we get to honorable mentions, a fish measuring board of some kind. So this in particular is a hog trough. You don't have to get this one. I'll explain a little bit later why you need to have a different one. But this is a very, very good one. It only retailed for about $20 when we bought it. This is Pete's. He really likes this thing. He enjoys it. But the reason I'm going to say that you can't just stick to this one is because if the person you're buying for does kayak tournaments, sometimes they have tournament-specific boards that they require. One that a lot of tournaments offer, including a major one that I'll be participating in next year, requires a Ketch board. That's Ketch board. And I'll leave a link to the website down in the description too. But those are much more premium, and those boards are actually required for me to fish that tournament. So I could not use this board in that tournament. So if you're buying somebody that just fishes for fun, doesn't do any tournaments, you can get him one like this. But if he or she fishes tournaments or something along those lines, they may have a specific board that they require. So you're gonna have to take a look and see which board that tournament requires. But like I said, if this person is just fishing for fun or fishing by themselves and wants to get an accurate measurement, something like this will do just fine. The final two things I want to talk about are both going to be honorable mentions. And the reason that I'm putting them in honorable mentions is because if somebody's kayak fishing, they're most likely going to have these two things already. But that's going to be a life jacket and a paddle. So life jackets, I have this one here. This is a CO2 charged life jacket. They're all Coast Guard approved. But this thing is really, really nice if you're not looking for something bulky. So this one, I'll actually try it on right now. It's a little messed up because it's been sitting in my garage for so long, but this is a CO2 charged one. So if I were to pull this trigger right here, this thing would expand with CO2 and help me float. You do have to replace the cartridge every 3 years on it, but I really like these because, like I said, they're not bulky. If you're looking for a more traditional style life jacket, I know NRS makes a really good one. NRS Kayaking Accessories makes a really good one. But this is just the Bass Pro brand CO2 charged life jacket. Pete has the same exact one, but in blue. And this thing is one of my essential tools. I do not leave without it anymore. I used to be very nonchalant about life jackets, but I take life jackets extremely seriously now because it could be the difference between life and death sometimes. So definitely take it seriously. Definitely get yourself a good life jacket. The next thing I want to talk about is a paddle. So 9 times out of 10, if somebody's kayak angling already, they're going to have a good paddle already. But if they're looking for a good upgrade, you can choose a variety of different ones. This is a Field & Stream Angler CF carbon fiber paddle. I like this thing quite a bit. I've had it for many years since I started kayak fishing. This was my first upgrade that I ever did, was a better paddle. I really like this one. I know they make some that go upwards of like $300 to $500. If you're looking for a top of the line one, definitely consider that. But 9 times out of 10, you don't need a top of the line kayak paddle, especially if you're using this as a secondary form of transportation. So a lot of kayak anglers will use pedal drive or a trolling motor, and this is their backup. If that's the case, I wouldn't go too expensive. But paddles are an absolute necessity for kayak anglers. You cannot just go out there with a pedal drive, or you cannot just go out there with a trolling motor. You have to have some kind of backup, and this is the only other option. Okay guys, so this is kind of everything together. I got the net and the paddle right here, but this is kind of everything all together. These are the gifts that I would recommend for any kayak angler. These are items that I have personally used for many years, and I have really enjoyed having these things. So they're very useful to me, and I hope that they're very useful to somebody else as well. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you want to see videos like these, definitely be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you end up getting any of these for somebody because of this video, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'd really like to know that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. See you later.